Doctor Who The Lonely Assassins has come to consoles. Originally released as a mobile phone experience at the beginning of 2021, it then made its way to Steam, and now it's available on Switch and PlayStation 4 and Xbox. So I thought, why not put the plunge in and see how this experience holds out as a budget price console download. I have to preface by saying, if you haven't watched the Doctor Who TV show episode Blink, and potentially some of the sequel stories with Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor, which feature the Weeping Angels as well, you're gonna feel a little bit left behind at the start of this game. It's centered around these statue creatures, which are monsters in the show. They are the titular Lonely Assassins. They are creatures that disguise themselves as statues, traditionally in the form of giant angels, and they do this as a method of camouflage. So their modus operandi is to sneak around. Anyone sees them, they pause, they turn into statues, and then when you look away, they'll move, and they'll strike when your back is turned. Hence the motto of the TV episode Blink. Don't blink, blink and you're dead, because it's in that blink, the moment when your eyes are shut, that's when they're going to come for you. It was a fantastic concept for a TV series, and Stephen Moffat really pushed it with what he did in the follow-up story with Matt Smith, where he actually said, well, anything that has the image of an angel is in form an angel itself. So you can't just turn a camera on and film these creatures to say they're being observed, because what you're essentially doing is duplicating them in a weird and roundabout way. So this is really fertile ground for lost mobile phone storytelling. So the way the game works on consoles is you have a fake mobile phone browser. It never does anything interesting with the background. There's no music. It's just a phone browser. Really, the original experience was meant to be played on a mobile phone, and it works really well there. But on the console, the one downside is because you don't have a mouse and because you don't have a touchscreen, except for maybe the Nintendo Switch, but I didn't download the Nintendo Switch version. I'd like to know whether actually the touchscreen on the Nintendo Switch works. But you've got to use the analog sticks to direct a pointer around the phone. It's a little bit artificial. There are some timed elements here where you feel a little bit annoyed that if this was a touchscreen, you'd move so much faster. The concept is you found a phone belonging to this guy, and Patronella Osgood contacts you and asks you to start doing tasks to try and work out who this guy was and what happened to him. And again, if you've watched Blink, if you already know what the Weeping Angels are and what they're capable of, the game builds this brilliant sense of tension as it brings back characters who haven't been in the TV show since 2005. That's great fan service. But if you've not watched Blink, you won't care who Larry is. You won't care about Sally Sparrow and Larry Nightingale. If you don't watch Doctor Who, you won't care about Patronella Osgood, although at least the game with her will do a decent job of drawing you in and introducing the character, which is good because by the end there's some film section. It doesn't have a TV show budget, feels a little bit stilted, so it's really relying on the rapport you've built up with this character over the course of the game as she sends you text messages and you get to decide how to respond to her. So she sets you these tasks and investigation. When you start, most of the content of Larry's phone is locked out. It's been corrupted. Why has it been corrupted? Well, as you piece together parts of the phone, you'll unlock more of it. You'll find the core files that have been corrupted and find out exactly what it is on this phone that's doing the damage. And then once you've discovered what's going on, it then asks you to go and find a way of dealing with it, all without leaving your mobile phone. So the very, very ending itself, spoiler warning, Osgood has to step in and solve it for you because you're just using this mobile phone. She goes to face the Weeping Angels. There's a bit of a standoff. It feels a little bit stilted, but it was fine. It was effective. And then at the very, very end, Jodie Whittaker phones you up to say, congratulations, cheers for helping out, which was nice. It was nice. It's a great experience. Play it in the dark with headphones on as it recommends. Whether you're on a mobile phone, on a PC, or on a console, it's pretty much the same great experience. Cards on the table time to complete this game from start to finish is going to take you slightly under 3 hours. Maybe more if you struggle with the puzzles, but there's not that many puzzles that you're going to struggle with. The one thing that you can do wrong is that there are essentially hidden secrets. There's not many of them. There's actually about 6 in total. But if you don't scan them and send them in before a certain point in the game, you become locked out of a secret ending. And that's what happened to me on the first playthrough. You'll have to play through the game again, specifically scanning these items and uploading them before you pass that hidden point of no return. It doesn't announce to you, oh, by the way, you've missed your opportunity to upload them. I had seen all of these hidden items. The problem was there's actually a bug that was preventing me from scanning it the first time I passed it, and I forgot to go back until it was too late in the game. And even though I went back and collected the item, I never uploaded it. So that's a really minor sort of overview. Under 3 hour experience, very minor bug, not game breaking, that I'm not the only person to have encountered that can lock you out of the secret ending unless you're aware of what you're doing. But for something that takes less than 3 hours, either you can look up the secret ending on YouTube or you can play through it again. It's not that difficult to do, and you might spot stuff that you missed the first time round. You can do this in one evening, one afternoon, one night. No problem. Or break it up into 2 or 3 sessions if you want to, but yeah, I did it in 2 hours 20. But again, that was my first playthrough, but I kind of knew what I was looking for because I've watched the TV episodes. Which makes me wonder, if someone hasn't watched the TV episodes, what they'd think of this. I loved it. I really recommend this, and I really hope they start to do more stuff like this. My only question is, do I wish it was longer? Kind of, but I also think it was running the risk of outstaying its welcome. It needed, I think, one extra puzzle. In terms of things that I was actually solving, it felt much more scripted and directed than I would like. There could have been 1 or 2 more things where it was, okay, solve this. There's one jigsaw puzzle, there's one reaction timing thing where you're trying to stop something happening to the mobile phone. Essentially, it's being hacked. And there's one rotate the view screen around element to it. But that feels like it could have done with one more element like that at the end, rather than just the 6 items that you need to scan and send in to get the secret ending. But other than that, great experience, great little budget title from Maze Theory. And it was really nice to see these characters that I haven't seen for 15 years. Find out a little bit of what happened to them after the TV show ended, after the camera came off, and how their lives turned out. This isn't the ending I think many people are imagining for Sparrow and Nightingale, but it's an interesting one. It hasn't done them a disservice at all.